All right, hey there, how's it going? Big game for the Packers against the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday night. It was a big downer for the Packers on Saturday night against the Ravens. Now they have a big hole if they're going to do anything in the postseason this 2025 campaign. Of course, this is as seen by TVV. What do you want to know? What do you want to say about that game? I asked on the FOX6 Sports Blitz on Sunday night for opinions. We got some opinions, so some good ones here sent in, also some questions, etc. So let's have a go. Packers with one regular season game remaining. That's in Minnesota. Then on to the playoffs. They'll be the 7th seed. They'll take on either the Eagles or the Bears on the road. That sets the stage for you. Here we go. Mike from Wind Lake. Mike, was Saturday night actually embarrassing or just a bad loss? Mike, I'll go with the old little bit of both. That's what the players sometimes say in the locker room when you ask a two-part question, and they say, yeah, a little bit of both. It was a bad loss for sure, and I will say it was embarrassing. Not that you can't have a bad game, but the approach and the readiness to play, particularly from the defense, was severely lacking. And yes, there are some personnel mismatches as you're going against a team like the Baltimore Ravens, but the approach, the readiness to play, the mentality, embarrassing at the start of Saturday night's game for sure. And then you get in a big hole. Yeah, you try to come back. Yeah, you improve some aspects of your game, but you're at a deficit, and that's the way it went. And then you're losing to a backup quarterback on a team that wants to run the ball and just put up historic numbers on the ground against you. So yes, embarrassing and a bad loss. Bucky from Milwaukee. I have had enough of this team. All right, Bucky. I totally get it, to be honest with you. This team has had some high points this season, a 4-game winning streak late in the year, followed by now a 3-game losing streak, and kind of dim prospects going forward. So I get it. And, with the Packers, everybody invests so much into the team right from the beginning of the year, really even through the offseason. There's so much emotional investment that when it goes well, you're on a euphoric high, but when it doesn't, you're way back down at the other end of that spectrum. And Bucky from Milwaukee, I get your opinion, and I appreciate you sharing it. Sarah, no H, by the way, from Jackson. Were we all drunk on this team at the start of the season? I mean, were they actually good, or did we wish that to be the truth? Or to wish that to be true? You know what, Sarah? That is a really well spelled out query. Were the Packers good at the start of this season, or did people just want that to be true? I know people wanted that to be true. That's partially the case, but was there merit for that? As it turns out, those two opening wins at home that looked like such big games at the time, over Detroit and over Washington, neither of those teams makes the playoffs this year. Washington in particular, not even a competitive team at times this season. So maybe a little bit misleading there for the Packers. We'll see. I do think the Packers have a lot of pieces. I do think it was an expectation that they could be a very good football team this year. They acquired Micah Parsons, of course, at the beginning of the year, was shot in the arm of adrenaline and enthusiasm. But I'm not quite sure how good this team really is as the season ends. And another 7th seed. A few years ago, the Packers made the playoffs as the 6th seed, went on to win the Super Bowl. There were only 6 seeds at the time, so that tells you can make it as the last seed, or it also tells you that if the NFL hadn't expanded to 7 seeds, the Packers wouldn't even have been in these last 3 years, including this year. So we'll see for history, I guess, to look back on this team and see was it good or not. Matt from Hartford, does Rashawn Gary dress on game days? Ooh. Oh, Matt, yeah, it's been a quiet year for Rashawn Gary. He had some sacks early in the year. He was up there among the league leaders, and week after week after week now, no sacks from Rashawn Gary. He is in there playing. He was, I think, 3rd in snaps at his position on Saturday night. Kingsley Enagbari ahead of him. He's not playing as much as you'd expect a Rashawn Gary to be playing. He's certainly not producing as much as you'd expect a Rashawn Gary to be producing. I don't know that his future in Green Bay is terribly bright at his contract number right now. Wayne from Delafield. I wouldn't play anybody important this Sunday at Minnesota, would you? Wayne, everybody's important. It's the holidays. Everybody's important. But I get your question there. And I wouldn't risk any starters. I would play backups. I would play reserves. Week 18, which is game 17 for the Packers, does not matter a thing in the grand scheme. Now, yes, it'd be nice to get the winning feeling going again into the playoffs. So Packers try to win with the guys who are out there. But it means nothing. What means something is the first playoff game, which is a week later. You have all these injuries. I would rest my key players. I would tell everybody, do what you need to do to get your mind right, to get your body right, and come back this first week of the playoffs, and you better sell out and try to win that football game as an underdog. Or the future is going to be murky at best for a lot of people involved with the Green Bay Packers. So I wouldn't play anybody, to use Wayne's term here, important on Sunday at Minnesota. I would have all eggs in the basket of playoff game number 1 if I'm the Green Bay Packers. We're wrapping it up with Kenny from Racine. Okay, Kenny, here we go. Are these the last few weeks of the Matt LaFleur era, or how about Brian Gutekunst? All right, well, that kind of goes to what I was alluding to in the last question there. And right now, there's a lot of speculation now. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. Why? Why would you even know what that's going to be at this point, unless you're certain you're going to extend everybody involved until you play out maybe week 18's game, but really the playoffs. To me, going into this season, the playoffs were the test for this football team. They still await. You might have thought they would get in as a 1 or a 2 or a division seed, a division champion, whatever it is. They're the 7th seed in the NFC. They're in the playoffs. If your measuring stick is what will they do in the playoffs, can they get past that first round of the playoffs? Well, then wait and see. The Packers have won as an underdog in the playoffs before, under Matt LaFleur. They've lost as a favorite under Matt LaFleur. They won as an underdog under Mike McCarthy. You can win playoff games. And if the Packers win a first-round playoff game and go to the second round, does that change your narrative on Matt LaFleur or Brian Gutekunst? Both of these guys are due contract extensions in the offseason if the Packers are going to extend them. It's not the offseason. So Kenny from Racine, I get the question. A lot of talk about it out there. A lot of, guess what? I'm sure the talk is the same in Buffalo. Is this it for Sean McDermott? He's had all these teams. They win a lot of regular season games, don't do anything in the playoffs. Is this going to be it for Sean McDermott? Well, they're probably saying the same thing. Wait to see what happens in the playoffs. Wait to see what happens in the playoffs for the Green Bay Packers. Ed Policy, first year on the job as a team president, is going to have some tough decisions to make. That's why, it's not an easy job to be a team president. And Ed Policy is very qualified to be a team president for what that matters. And we'll see where the Packers go from there. But there's no point in speculating about that now because the real determining factor, in my mind at least, is what's going to happen in the playoffs this year. And then you look at the body of work for Matt LaFleur, you look at the body of work for Brian Gutekunst, and you make your decisions going forward. To me, that's where it is, Kenny from Racine. I love the questions. I love the opinions. I love the comments. I love this as seen by TVV every week. We get to hear from folks out there. What's on your mind about the green and gold? And let's face it, when you get Packer football, there's a lot on everybody's mind about the green and gold. So regular season finale coming up at Minnesota. We'll get you all covered leading into that game and then lock it down for the playoffs. It's playoff football, and the Packers are a part of the party. Thanks for making this a part of your party. It's always more fun when you participate. Wish you the best as we wrap up 2025 here, and a Happy New Year. Thanks for being a part of this week. Thanks for being a part of this all season long. One more regular season game to go, and we'll be doing it again. So tell your friends and family, get their questions and comments ready for As Seen by TVV on Fox 6, Fox 6 Now, our Fox Local, and Fox 6 Sports platforms. Take care.